I'm Soren Reiff. I'm sitting here with the WAZA Tube Amp Expander from WAZA. I just borrowed it and I must say I'm really impressed. It's a super cool unit with some awesome options and features, and it sounds really cool. So let's look a little bit deeper into all the possibilities you get from it. Well, first of all, it's a load box, but it's actually more than just one load box. It's actually 16 analog load boxes. With these two knobs, you can dial in the perfect setting for your amp. No matter if you have a small amp or medium-sized combo or a big stack, you can always find the right setting here. The way the speaker or the load box and the amp interact with each other, it's really important to get the right feel. And here you can dial in a setting that fits your amp absolutely best. So it's like listening to your amp through your favorite speaker. It's really cool. When you're using a load box, you also need speaker simulation. And actually this one comes with 22 different cabinets. From a small one with one 8-inch to big ones with 4 12s and all in between. So you get a lot of different flavors from that. You get 4 different microphones that you can hear the speakers through, and you get a flat response, and you can decide if the microphone should be placed real close, medium, or far away from the speaker, just like you can decide if you should be playing in a real dry atmosphere or in a small room or big room. And concerning the mic placement, you can actually decide if the mic should be placed center to the speaker or moved away by 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, up to 10 centimeters away from the speaker's center. And if you're into recording or if you're messing around with a microphone when you're out playing live, you know how big impact this has on your tone. And it's really nice that you can access all this. And you do that through the interface, through the editor that comes along with the unit, and you can save all these settings into these 10 rigs, 10 presets, together with a lot of the other stuff that I'm going to show you in a second. On top of that, it can also handle 4 of your own impulse responses. It's very cool. Mono, stereo, 500 milliseconds, no problem. Just go ahead and load it. And then you have this continuous attenuator. It's very useful because it goes from absolutely 0 and all the way up to whatever suits you, your family, or your neighbors. And with that, you have the 100-watt power amp. I wasn't aware I was in any need of a power amp, but now I know I do. One of the cool things about this power amp with this continuous volume control is that I can dial in just a tiny bit of my tone through my speakers when I'm working in the studio. And together with the Fletcher-Munson curve that comes with it, I get the feel and the tone that I'm playing really loud, even at low volumes. It's really nice and it sounds awesome. Another cool thing you get with this power amp is the possibility to bring, like if you have a favorite 5-watt tube amp that you always loved and used in the studio or back home when you're recording, now you suddenly can bring it for a gig because you get all the power from this. Just have to bring some speakers that can handle all the power this offers you. Really nice and useful. Okay, before we look into all the other options you get from the Tube Amp Expander, let me give you a few samples of what all this sounds like. I've chosen one cabinet with 4 12 greenbacks, and I've chosen 2 different mics, and you can hear the difference of the 2 mics, and you can hear the difference from the placement, if it's close to the center or moved away, or if in a big room or in a small room. So let's go ahead. Isn't it amazing how big impact the mic choice and the mic placement has on your overall sound? And then with all the different mics, 22 cabinets, so many possibilities, so many different sounds. I think it's super cool. And then you get an FX loop. Maybe you've been missing that for years if you have an old amp, an old plexi with no loop. Maybe you've been missing a loop for external effects. Well, here you go. You can either turn it on and off here, or by a foot controller, or assign it to the different rigs. And then you have internal effects. This unit comes with DSP power, giving you programmable compressors, delays, and reverbs, and you can easily access all the parameters through the editor. And again, you can assign the different settings for the different rigs, and you can easily turn it on and off if you're working in the studio and need that. And next to that, you have a programmable EQ. You can either use that for shaping your chord tone generally, or you can use it as a really focused and high-end mid boost when you want your solo to cut through the mix. Again, easily accessed here, or you can assign it to the different rigs, or again, you can turn it on and off by a foot controller. The last button here is for the amp control, and it's an easy way to swap between the different channels on your amp. Again, assignable to the rigs, and again, you can easily turn it on and off by a controller. The last area here on the front is concerning the in and outputs. Here I can see if the unit receives any input. Here I'm adjusting the line output, and here I'm adjusting for the phones. But talking about in and outputs, let's have a look on the back of the unit. Well, as you can see, I've turned the Tube Amp Expander around so we can check out all the connections, and there are plenty. First, we have the AC connection. Next to that, we have the connection for the speaker cabinets. And here we connect the amp. And it's so important that you remember to connect your amp to either your speakers or the load box, or both of them. If you're using the load box, please remember to turn on the load box before you turn on the amp to stay out of trouble. It's very important. And here you also make this setting for the impedance, 4, 8, or 16. And you have a small switch here where you can dial in the right setting for your amp. Again, the load box and the amp should work the best possible way together. If you have a small amp, medium-sized amp, or big amp, 10, 50, or 100 watt. Really, really cool. Next to that, you have the connection for your phones. And next to that, you have 2 sets of XLRs for the line out. One is mono XLR out, thought of as a connection to the front of house, and the other one is a stereo XLR out, thought of as a connection to a mixer in the studio or whenever it's appropriate. Down here you have the connection for your amplifier, so you can do the channel switching. You can connect to the small pedal board that you can get to this, changing between the different rigs and turn all the internal effects on and off. You can also connect to a small switch here, so you can turn the loop for the external effects on and off. Next to that, you have the MIDI connection, MIDI in, MIDI out. It's super cool because with a board like mine, I can set MIDI out into this. So whenever I'm changing preset, I can make sure I have the right rig dialed in for that specific sound. Super cool. Next to that, I have the USB connection, and it has 2 purposes. One is for the editor, so I can make sure I'm choosing the right cabinet, the right mic placement, and stuff like that. But the other purpose is that I can use this unit as a sound card, meaning if I'm on tour, or if I'm in the rehearsal room, or if I'm back home with my amp, I can connect this to my laptop, and I can do serious professional recordings just with this as a sound card. Super clever. The last department here is for the external loop, for the external effects, and you get all the switches you would expect to with the ground lift and stuff like that. All in all, very well planned and super user friendly. I must say it's very smart. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I also hope that you got a good impression of all the possibilities, all the options you get from this. I also hope that you understand why I'm so excited, because as I started pointing out, I must say I'm really impressed. Till next time, stay cool.